those people that were involved in that, and they're all Pima County officials as well. Now, there was one individual in the quartzite situation. His name was Ponce, Officer Ponce. Now, we exposed Ponce as being a liar a few times, and this is going to be pretty shocking when you see this image that I found. So here we have Ponce chilling out on the beach. This picture was taken in 2010 in July. Nothing so spectacular about that. But we see this next photograph that's in the same album where Ponce has a friend with him. Alright, so Ponce got a wife. Okay, so what's the big deal about that? Well, check this out. This person is one of Jared Loughner, the fictitious character, Jared Loughner, because we know that Gabrielle Gifford's event was a drill. This is one of the people that played his teacher at Pima. Now, you might ask yourself, why is that so significant? Well, this is Ponce. That's supposed to be a police officer in Quartzsite, 400, 500 miles away. He's married to this woman, but this picture is taken before both the Quartzsite and before the Jared Loughner Gabrielle Giffords incident. Now, to make matters even worse, wait till you see who else is at this little get-together on the beach. This is little Ponce and his sister. Does that kid look familiar to you? This is the actress that they would use when they weren't using Samantha. This is the fill-in actor. But then, the brother Ponce. Check this out. So what we've effectively done right here, since these individuals are all together before any of the events that they appear in, we've connected them all together to a massive conspiracy. The fact that Gabrielle Giffords, Loughner, Quartzsite, Christina Taylor Green, all of them are connected by the same people, same family, and they're together on the same beach, including some more people that you're going to flip out about. So we've now proven all those events frauds. Check this out. As I'm going through the photos in this album, I see this guy, and for some reason it sticks in my head, and I know I've seen him before. It took me about an hour or two to think about it, but I finally figured out where I had seen him before. So remember a little bit back when I said, when I went to the Dallas Occupied protest, that I got that feeling when I was even across the street that they knew that I was heading their way? Well, they did know, and they prepared for it. But say you're at an event and you're told that this guy that's on the internet is exposing people, and they happen to be your family that they're exposing. How do you think you're going to react when you know you're going to run right into the dude, but you can't do anything about it? You can't say anything, you can't confront him, you can't do anything about it. That's the face right there that you'd be making. That dude is hot right now. He just wants to jump through that camera and just rip my lungs out. But he can't. He can't do anything about it. Now, Dunn was the idiot that day, about 10 minutes after this, and flipped me off, which totally clued me into who he was, because if he hadn't even done that, I wouldn't even have known. I wouldn't have paid any attention to him. They'd have just been faces that I just knew in my head but didn't have a name for. But no, Dunn had to screw it all up for this whole family. Now watch. So the guy shooting me the nasty looks, he's brothers with Ponce. Alright? Now, Ponce and this guy have a couple more brothers. Maybe you'll recognize this one. This is Richard Sexton and Jennifer Sexton. Jennifer Greenberg Sexton. Jennifer and Richard are the mother and father of Samantha Sexton and Emily Sexton, who's sitting there. Christina Taylor Green, aka Samantha Sexton. Jennifer here is the sister of Tony. And Jennifer also is the one who plays Rebecca Joy, who also plays Gabrielle Giffords, who also is the grandchild of Maurice Greenberg. But wait, hang on, it gets even better. It gets way better. So her husband here, Richard Sexton, whose brother is Patrick Sexton. Now you go, Patrick Sexton, well, who's that? Well, his name's a little bit different than his name that he uses outside of his family, like most Hollywood people do. So we have Jeffrey Katzenberg, CEO of DreamWorks, business partners Steven Spielberg, David Geffen, some of the richest guys on the planet. Oh, but wait, it gets even better. It gets way better. So we're still climbing up the food chain here, and I'm seeing another face that looks familiar, but I couldn't quite tell who it was. So I see these two, and I'm like, man, he looks familiar. And I'm like, is that David Rockefeller? But wait a second, there's no way that could be David Rockefeller just because of the age. I mean, the guy looks way too good. That's David Rockefeller Jr. Oh my. So let me break this down for you. We got Rockefeller Sr., all right, whose father and he were in charge of Operation Paperclip. Back in those days, Josef Mengele and Adolf Einhorn and a bunch of other Nazis came over through Paperclip. Well, guess who brought them over here? Rockefeller funded them to come over here. So now when these two guys get over here from Auschwitz, they are given new identities. We see the paperwork here for Maurice, and we can also see that that paperwork is forged and faked. It's not correct. And I can go into this in more detail in another video. As you'll see, the signatures on here have been photocopied or have been photoshopped later on. These documents are not authentic. So now we have two war criminals over here that Rockefeller Sr. has taken a liking to. He also funded Maurice Strong back in the early days to get him started with, after he brought them over here and after he gave him some money to do his oil ventures up in Canada. So you have these two guys basically, okay, now what do they do for a family? Well, the only people that they could really hang around with are the people that know who they are, because eventually somebody's going to find out. So you have to stick around with the people that are close to you. So Rockefeller Jr. here comes along, and of course the family members and everybody starts to mingle together. So you got Rockefeller, who also had Abby. Abby on the other side was an Aldrich. That family is the one that mingled with the Strong family. You can see the Strong family tree goes down, and one of the daughters of Strong is now married to Jeffrey Katzenberg. Here's their photo. The other daughter of Strong, well, he's got many daughters, he's got 4 or 5. His other daughter is Vicky Strong Greenberg, who married Maurice Greenberg's son, Michael. Now that was his third marriage. He had 2 wives before that, and that's where you see Jennifer and Tony from. So you have the 3 biggest names there are on this planet right now in control of this planet, and each of them has major connections to the UN. Each of them has major connections to eugenics. All of them have a distaste for the United States and want the New World Order. They have all said this in their own words. Maurice Greenberg tried to do what he could with AIG to basically get the whole campaign to collapse everything with our financial market with that bubble. And here's a funny thing. If you look at Maurice Greenberg's papers when he came over here from Auschwitz, the person that he put on there as an emergency contact, their last name was Sachs. So you can see this massive conspiracy that has just been unraveled here with this whole photo album that I found. It puts all the key players in place. It connects every single one of them, and guess where, of course, they all live, out in Phoenix and Tucson. It connects them all together before the Gabrielle Giffords event, before the Quartzsite event, before the Occupied event, before any of those events.